Good day, McVeigh, and happy Thursday. Good morning, boys and girls. Let's get to our birthdays. Okay. Happy birthday today to Jordan Abels in our fourth grade, Adian Hamid in our fourth grade, Emma Radnerain in our first grade, Zayan Alam in our kindergarten. And that's it for today. Now, tomorrow, boys and girls, there will be morning announcements like this. But we're also going to have our end of the year morning announcements live at 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11, and 11:30. In order, we're going to kindergarten first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So 9 o'clock is kindergarten, 9:30 first grade, 10 o'clock second grade, 10:30 third grade, 11 o'clock is fourth, 11:30 is fifth. And at those announcements, I will be giving all of the birthday wishes for the whole summer. So if you haven't heard your birthday yet, you will hear it at the live morning announcements on Friday. Can't wait for that. And check this out. I did wear a long sleeve version of this, but it's a little bit big for me, but that's okay. It's another McVeigh shirt. Okay, so some jokes. Some of you have been really helpful with this. Savannah sent me several jokes, the Yarkins, also Sebastian. So I'm going to be reading 4 today so that I can get them all on before we have our last day. Ready? What can you serve but never eat? This is from Sebastian. What can you serve but never eat? A tennis ball. Look at that cool illustration. Nice work, Sebastian. All right. What did the hamburger call his daughter? This is from the Yarkin sisters. What did the hamburger call his daughter? Patty! Well done. Okay. Another one from the Yarkins. What was wrong with a wooden car with wooden wheels and a wooden engine? It wouldn't go. Oh, nice work. Okay. And this one is coming from Savannah. Why did the princess go to school? To find her principal. Get it? Nice work to all of you. Okay, so getting to our riddle. So we had a riddle yesterday. Mary's father had 5 children. Nana, Nini, No, and Nunu. What's the name of the other child? Everybody got it right. Yes, Mary, of course. So, Zach, the Macharskis, the Capolas, the Yarkins, Emma. Well done. Yes. When you listen, a lot of these things come to light. So, good work. So, listen carefully. A monkey, squirrel, and bird raced up the coconut tree. Who got to the banana first? The monkey, squirrel, or bird? They raced up the coconut tree. All right, let's see. All right, now, we also had Name That Town. So here was the clue. Name that town. And yes, it was Deer Park. So Deer Park is a town that's in Suffolk County, not that far from here. All right. So here's another one that I think you'll enjoy. All right. You ready? What is that? So you have some water there. What is that? See if you can figure that out. Now, let's move on to where on earth. So we had figured out that Miss Preety was in the Galapagos Islands, but then I said that Miss Kay sent me these pictures of these very awesome birds. And many of you had a good time researching these birds. So several of you figured out what kind of birds they are. And what I loved about what you did was that you not only figured out the birds, but you did even more research about the birds. Some of you learned about the big red pouch that you see here. Some of you learned about the scientific name for the birds. But the Capolas, the Macharskis, Cardalis, also Emma, found out all about the birds. So we had the blue-footed booby. That's this one. And believe it or not, these birds actually in other areas have red feet. And you can do some research on that. And they can live in any number of places, but mostly in off the coast of South America. And this one, I'm trying to make sure that I get all the people that mentioned it. Yes, I omitted Emily. So Emily also figured that out relative to the birds. But then we had the frigate bird. That's this one. And you know that their wingspan, which means how far apart, when you measure their wings, can be up to 8 feet. That's a big, big wingspan. So yeah, so all of these cool animals around the world. Right? So that leads us to the Where on Earth is Miss Wallace? So I showed you several pictures. Now, we only had 2 of you figure this out. So the Cardalis and Emma figured out where on earth Miss Wallace is. So I'm going to give you one more chance to look at these clues. There's many of them. This is a major clue. But in terms of the wildlife, and again, and these would be some of the scenes that you could see at this place. Now you have to be thinking, what do we know about Miss Wallace? Where else did we see her? I remember seeing her at Zion National Park. I also remember seeing her at Glacier National Park. Where else could she be? What do we know about what Miss Wallace likes to do? Okay, so now we're going to move on to science. We have Louise. So Louise Shaheen from Miss Glazer's class. And I think you're going to love this, and you're going to say, I know what's going to happen. And then he explains it at the end. It's something that we've learned during our time together, but he does a great job with it, which is why I waited till the end. And you should be thinking right away. All right, let's see.
Hi guys, my name is Louise in 3rd grade, Miss Glazer's class. Today I will be doing the saltwater egg flow experiment. For my experiment, you will need eggs, 3 glasses of water, and salt. So I added 1 cup of water in each glass, and the glass number 1 will have 1 tablespoon of salt, glass number 2 will have 2 tablespoons of salt, and glass number 3 won't have any salt at all. My question is, how much salt do we need to make the egg float? My hypothesis is the egg with 2 tablespoons of salt will float in the water. I will be adding 1 tablespoon of salt in here, 2 tablespoons of salt in here, and then I will put the egg in to see if it floats.
Now, what Moise did that we have talked about is he's making sure he measures everything and that all of his glasses have the same amount of water. So the only thing he's controlling here is the amount of salt. He's only experimenting with one variable, and that's the amount of salt. The eggs are all the same, the glasses are the same, and the water is the same. That's very important in science. You only change one variable.
And now I'm going to mix it.
Now, boys and girls, is it interesting when he puts the egg in? I want you to look carefully at what happens.
Now I'm going to be adding an egg in glass number 2, and we're going to see if it floats.
Look at the water.
So in glass number 2, it just keeps on going down and up like it's bouncing. Now let's see glass number 1. Glass number 1 sank. Now let's see glass number 3. And glass number 3 also sank. Glass number 2 is the only one floating.
Now look at the water. It's not the
We
same.
observed that 2 tablespoons of salt made the egg float, 1 tablespoon of salt did not, and the tap water did not either. My hypothesis was correct. The 2 tablespoons of salt water made the egg float. What I learned: why do objects float or sink? When you put an object that is denser than fresh water, it will sink in our saltwater experiment. Because the egg is denser than tap water, it pushes away our particles so it can make space for itself. But in case of salt water, since it is heavier and denser than tap water, it can hold up the egg and make it float. That's all for my experiment today. Hope you enjoyed. Bye!
Well done, Louise. So that's what we've been learning about. So what you may have noticed is that when the second glass of water was still cloudy and Louise put the egg in, it didn't exactly float, but it didn't exactly go to the bottom. It sort of stayed suspended in the middle. What was happening there? Then over time, it completely floated, but when it was completely floating, the water was clear. What was happening during that time when the egg was suspended in the water as compared to the end? See if you can figure that out. And then relate that to what we learned about Ms. Zucker when she was floating in the Dead Sea. Remember that? That was a while back. All right. And so we have a couple of things to report back on. So we have our new riddle. We have where on earth is Miss Wallace and what's happening there from when the egg was suspended in the water, not sinking, not floating, to the end. What happened there? Let's see if you can figure that out. And finally, it's our mighty kind moment of the day. Let's have it. Our drum roll. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so let's go. This one has a beautiful heart on it. Okay, let's see. Ooh. To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. That's wonderful. That's true. So in the world, boys and girls, there's so many people. We are each only one person. But what that is saying is that we are extremely important as a single person to many people. So we can't look at ourselves as just one of billions of people. We have to look at how important we are to the people in our lives. And that's where that kindness piece comes in. When you realize how important you are and how important what you do for other people is, suddenly your everyday actions make a big difference. That's what it means. And we've been talking about that every day during distance learning, of how important it is for us to be like that little boy with the starfish and making a difference one person at a time. 100%. That's what we need to be doing. And of course, boys and girls, I know you can. Why? Because you're a mighty mind. And not only that, you're a mighty kind, mighty mind. And every day is a great day to get smart and be kind to both each other and the earth. Let's have a wonderful day.